August. Now it is time to see the announcement of another new game from a brand new development studio.
RTS, come on. Not us, guys. Not us. I'm excited. Buddy, you don't count. Would be fun if this is the RTS. Battle Aces. Wow.
To tell us more about Battle Aces and show you the gameplay, here's David Kim from Uncapped Games.
Woo!
Thanks,
there we go. That is it.
Battle
What the
Aces
hell?
is the RTS game for everyone.
That
it's
is
for players
it.
that are brand new to RTS as well as RTS veterans. We really want to bring the core fun of RTS to everybody, kind of like how games such as World of Warcraft did for MMOs or Hearthstone did for card games. So Battle Aces is an action-packed army versus army game that has a high emphasis on the strategy. We want to bring this type of very specific RTS fun to players in two major ways. First, we want to amplify both the in and out of game strategizing through unit decks. And what makes unit decks very cool is not only will players be able to define the exact way that they wish to play, but also players will be able to experience an endless possibility of strategies. Second, we want to eliminate the tedious clicks required to play an RTS as much as possible so that players playing this game are experiencing only the fun parts of playing an RTS game. So, if you want to learn more about Battle Aces, or if you want to sign up for our beta test that's coming up very soon, then please make sure to visit our website at playbattleaces.com. Thank you.
Thank you, David. That was fantastic. All right. Our next premiere unveils the exciting new destination for a game that shadow dropped at the Game Awards last year, the Finals, with its unparalleled destruction wrapped in the world's most deadly game show. Now,
Okay.
dozens of updates in 2 seasons we're unveiling where contestants will be going in the all-new season starting next week on June 13th. Sharpen your katanas and welcome to Season 3 of the Finals.
So, I kind of like the style of the cutscenes. It's not, I mean, it looks like anime, right? Like bit 90s anime, kind of cool. But this didn't strike me as an RTS, you know? But this will take a lot of time to fall in love with the art style. It's again like sci-fi. But at least anime sci-fi. And not exactly StarCraft sci-fi, but oh, if you look at the units, it looks very much StarCraft sci-fi, doesn't it?
To tell us more about Battle...
Thanks, Jeff. It's for players that are brand
All right. Very StarCrafty.
new to RTS as well as RTS. Kind of like how games such
But-
as World of Warcraft did for MMOs or Hearthstone did for card games.
So much. Like, it's so many units already. And it's kind of like, I don't know, is it auto chess-ish?
Games such as World of Warcraft did for MMOs or Hearthstone did for card games. So Battle Aces is an action-packed army versus army game that has a high emphasis on the strategy.
So no army versus army games. So there's basically no base building.
To bring this type of very specific RTS fun to players in two major ways.
Okay, I give one big plus. Player color, very recognizable. Very recognizable. Blue, red, yellow, nice. They got this down. They got this down. They know how important it is. I like that. Red blends a little bit with the red ground, you know, but that happens. The yellow, pretty much perfect.
First, we want to amplify both the in and out of game strategizing through unit decks. And what makes unit decks
so this is probably a placeholder, right?
very cool is not only will players be able to define the exact way that they wish to play, but also
very simplistic. This kind of reminds me of a Dragon Ball capsule.
People are lazy. There was so many perfect styles. Super RTS concepts back in the end of 90s and first half of O. Just take one of them. Come on. Come on.
All people who played it said it was completely different from Blizzard RTS, or at least different enough to not expect much carryover. Yeah. I'm very curious. I'm not a big fan of big armies.
players will be able to experience an end.
So, am I getting this wrong? It's kind of like auto chess, right? You pick your army. It's not really auto chess, but instead of building a base, you select an army from, like, you have a budget and then you fantasy build your army. And then these units can get different abilities.
In this possibility of strategies. Second, we want to eliminate the tedious clicks required to play an RTS as much as possible so that players playing this game are experiencing only the fun parts of playing an RTS game. So,
wait, where is it?
If you want to learn more about Battle Aces, or
I like the Zeppelin kind of thing. It looks fun. Looks like a bit like a flying hippo. It's not too bad. So it's not super serious graphic style. I think that's cool. Also the giant crab, I can see that. I like the artistic direction. This is definitely something I've not seen. Some generic stuff, of course. Like Space Marines, obviously.
Playing an RTS game. So, if you want to learn more about Battle Aces, or if you want to sign up for our beta test that's coming up very soon.
Bro, what he? Okay, that's... You know, when we discussed earlier trailers of like Zero Space, Stormgate, etc., we were missing this one unit that's oomph. This is a unit you want to present in a trailer. Flying spaghetti monster with laser eyes blasting away. Hell yeah. Done right. Done right.
Then please make sure to visit our website at playbattleaces.com. Thank you.
Okay, I had never heard the name Lightspeed Studios before, to be honest. Not crazy hyped. Definitely interested. Definitely interested. So this kinda goes into a direction of like looking up a build. If you want to learn the game, you look up a build. Like when you play a Diablo character, or you want to follow a certain Elden Ring build or something, you just look up a build. And that's easy to follow. Instead of learning a build order, that's not that easy. Go to the website, they have more videos and explanation. Okay. What was it? Play Battle Aces. Fast action RTS. Okay. I like, I want to say, I like that they are taking a leap. And that they want to do, that they really want to do something new. First, I sign up for the thing. Gotta enter a code. I'll do that later. So... I'm just looking through the cinematic trailer, which we've seen. Wonder if there's just a cinematic trailer, right? But you can already, like from the cinematic trailer, you can tell how much money is involved already. It reminds me of like the Cowboy Bebop times. 90s anime, which is pretty damn cool. Okay, let's watch it again. Let's watch. I think this seems, yeah, there's some new stuff in it. I don't think this is cheap. Some power metal, love it. You know what? I kind of fall in love with it. Trailer is not bad. The trailer is not bad at all, man. Okay. Welcome to Battle Aces, a paradigm shift for PC real-time strategy games that allows players to customize a specific unit deck before each match. So, question here. Do you have to buy booster packs or something? Cinematic is awesome, but I don't see traces of the style picks up in the actual game. Kind of agree. Matches are limited to 10 minutes, making for intense battles, full of strategic depth at the highest level of play. Gameplay trailer. I think my PC is too slow to put this in full screen.
And I saw you were online. Now I am excited.
All right. So let's watch this and then we dissect it. I wonder, like, obviously, this is as far away from Warcraft 3 as it possibly gets. I wonder if you get, like, reinforcements somehow, of course. Because you do get some sort of resources, right? This seems kind of obvious. And that's the beginning of the game. You spawn, you rush to the middle. This has footy vibes. Okay, you can recall when you're under attack. These are fewer of these thingies, right, than before? Okay, so you can lower income. That means you must be able to get some sort of reinforcement somehow. Definitely feels like a game where StarCraft people excel at compared to Warcraft people. Send units at the right time to the right place. You control the units. Yeah. I mean, it just had footy vibes in the sense of you rush to the middle immediately. It's not that you don't control these. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, for sure. But obviously, the bigger armies are, the less potential for micro there is, or the less time for micro there is. You can block each other, of course. I don't hate the unit design, to be honest. Very simplistic yet recognizable. This is probably exactly what you need for a game like this. Strategic gameplay overview. Tasteless and Artosis discuss high skill expression in battle aces and strategic opportunities at the highest level of play for those who love to own their craft of the best. Okay.
What is up, everybody? Tasteless here along with Artosis, and I am very excited to say we'll be doing our first ever Battle Aces cast.
Battle Aces is a fast action.
Sorry, I can't go full screen right now. Don't know why.
Along with Artosis, and I am very excited to say we'll be doing our first ever Battle Aces cast.
Battle Aces is a fast action RTS. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, as we see here at the beginning, that is the core dropping down into the ground. That is the main base, the main resource locations where all your units will be made. If you lose it, you lose the game. Conversely, if you kill your opponents, you win the game. The only other win condition would be this timer you see up at the top. We have a maximum of 10-minute long games. If you go to the full 10 minutes, then it just takes the higher score and that player wins.
As you can see, right off the bat, you're able to take an expansion. So seconds into getting into the game, you can be building an army, you can be taking bases, you can be getting right into the action.
And as you see, 30 seconds in, we already have a little bit of an engagement. The player view that we're looking at is David Kim's. He's utilizing blinks, and he's going up against gunbots. You can see these gunbots turning to fight. They have an ability called Overclock. It's really a lot like Stim. It upgrades their speed and their attack speed, and you don't want to be engaging them when that's on.
Luckily, you are able to then blink away to get out of that area so that you can go to somewhere safer. Both players right now are now getting onto their third bases as tension is continuing to build here in the middle of the map.
Yeah, with those 3 bases up, they're going to be getting a lot more resources. a lot of micro going down right now. And one thing you've seen several times now is the intelligence bar. It's those boxes that are popping up onto the screen that David keeps on checking. That's going to show your unit deck and your opponent's unit deck. Basically where you are in your tech trees and what units you're going to have available.
So the units that we're seeing here at the start of this game don't have to be the units that you're going to be playing with or against in your first game of Battle Aces. There's so many different ways and combinations you can make in this game, which creates a unique experience every time.
And really, it revolves around the type of skills that you have, the type of way that you like to play. You can see David here, he's going for a very micro-oriented attack. His opponent, more about the pure damage output of his army. And really, there's all sorts of different ways you can go about choosing those decks.
I feel like this is what every strategy game ever says, but there will be a meta. So the question is, how will this end up?
Really speed versus strength here. David Kim now going down to the bottom right, but realizing that there's nothing in the middle of the map. He has to try to retreat here. He's getting closed in. He's getting surrounded. Right now, David Kim being chased over here into the base of his opponent.
Wow, this is actually a great move from his opponent. The gunbot's putting a lot of damage down onto these blinks, but of course that mobility that David has is really coming in handy. Blinking forward through this third base location, he's going to kill quite a few workers.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a very fortunate interaction there for David Kim. He goes through that third base, massacres the workers, and manages to escape over to his side of the map.
One thing I do need to mention is I've noticed that he has that Starforge done. His opponent went for the Foundry. The Starforge is going to allow you to make some flying units, so that can really change the flow of the game. We have some butterflies coming out right now, and these have just a devastating anti-ground attack.
And using these versus the gunbots, he's going to be able to clear this area out very quickly. Meanwhile, setting the blinks down into the bottom right, we see that mortars have been set up, but they're not going to be helpful to try to push into this location. And this is really David Kim winning two different attacks on two different fronts.
And his opponent just now getting some missile bots out there. As you can see, some great anti-air, and that's going to push the...
You know, love-hate relationship with the units. I definitely like how readable they are. Simple shapes, good player color, relatively easy to read. But it's the same problem as with almost all unit types of these new RTS. Would you fall in love with a unit like this the same way you fall in love with a grunt?
The butterflies back, but you know what? He bought time. He was able to kill his opponent's fourth base while saving his own third base. So very, very good there for David with the butterflies.
So right now his opponent back, licking his wounds. We have the butterflies arcing around through the northern side of the map as a huge push comes in here. This time the mortars will be able to set up. You can see David King comes in and tries to snipe one mortar, but realizes there's just too much damage here. There should be no way he can keep this third base alive.
Yeah, his army's really more mobility based. He can't face against this giant death ball that we're seeing right now.
How do you know what your opponent is going for if there's no buildings? For example, when you scout at the beginning in a match of Human vs. Orc, you see either there's a Warmill and he's going Headhunters, or there's no Warmill and he's going Grunts, right? You can react. How do you do that here? Is the unit just there all of a sudden? Or is there some sort of indicator?
The mortars with the gunbots, it's a great combo. But he's going for some counter...
You see it? Oh, okay.
Harassment. Look at that damage output from the butterflies. They just cleared the workers in a matter of seconds.
Pretty crazy. He's able to once again wipe out all the workers at that third base. It looks like we have some predators out now to drive these butterflies away. But on top of that, the fourth base position in the bottom right is wiped out once more.
And in fact, it looks like the Blink's still going to go on and attack elsewhere. And actually, David's fourth base up in that top left corner is under siege. So I think he is going to end up losing that one as well, unfortunately. But he's going after his opponent's first expansion. It does look like he's going to be able to get it.
Yeah, you can see he tried to get in there and get that mortar, decides instead to just target down that second base and regroup. He's taking his wins, and then he's pulling back out, continuing to accumulate a bigger and bigger army.
Yeah, he's got a lot of blanks right now. And it does look like David has gone up to the...
So that's what you mean, right? These little cards that was just there
and then
for
he's
a second.
Pulling back out, continue.
So this But that just shows you the units, right? You don't know if he skips the tech or something. So for example, you wouldn't know if he's going for the flying unit unless you see the flying unit.
Continuing to accumulate a bigger and bigger army.
Yeah, he's got a lot of blanks right now. And it does look like David has gone up to the advanced Star Forge, and he's saving up a lot of resources at the moment as he tries to run away. This army can't fight against his opponent. You see it's starting to fight, and it is taking a beating. He's going to blink away and try to run while he saves up money for this crazy Tier 3 unit called the Kraken.
He's been buying some time, but it looks like eventually this push is going to show up at the front door. He has banked up that money for that Kraken, but for the time being, I mean, it just looks like there's no way he's going to be able to keep this third base alive.
Well, he decides to do something else with the blinks. He's going to go across the map and maybe try some sort of counterattack. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, his opponent's army is kind of mirroring him, but you know what? This is okay for David because he still needs to save up more resources for that Kraken. And in fact, he's going to find these mortars left in the center and be able to pick those off reasonably efficiently.
Yeah, really nicely done. He wipes that out. This is going to loosen up the position on the middle of the map, making Red have to do a little bit more heavy lifting to ever get back into this type of position again here. So for the time being, he can use these blinks to buy time. A mortar push coming across the map again is going to be a lot more costly, at least as far as time goes, and we know there's not that much time left in this game.
Well, as David kind of pokes in on the side, those mortars are there. He's going to have to back up. He's just looking to see if he can slow his opponent down a little bit as his resources continue to grow. Right now, he's at about 2,500, 2,500. That Kraken costs 3,000, 3,000.
Yeah, it looks like he's moments away from getting that because he's able to keep this position here. And as the mortars would try to set up, he then blinks away. He's bought a little bit more time. If the Kraken can get out, then he's going to be able to retake this third base that he lost earlier on this game.
And it looks like he is ready for it. There you go. He has purchased the Kraken. And look at the size of that thing. Just a deadly Tier 3 unit. And
yeah,
you know what? His
it.
top left base looks like it's about to be under siege here. He comes up with those blinks, going to kill off a mortar, but that is a scary army to engage.
But I think he realizes maybe his blinks aren't going to be that useful over in this area. So instead, he could try to come over here to the third base of his opponent. Meanwhile, the Kraken up here in the north is doing a huge amount of damage to that big push from our red player.
And you know what? He's going to be able to kill off this third base really quickly with those blinks. But I don't know if the Kraken's going to last. That's a lot of Predators in there. And you can see the health is being chunked down so quickly. But the blink's going to come up and try to help out here as well. The Kraken going after them. Look at this. A blink forward targeting on Predators. And he saves the Kraken with just a few health left.
And as long as there's any health left on that Kraken, all that damage is going to continue to come out. A huge victory here in the middle of the map. Right now, David Kim going to sink his teeth in and try to come in for the kill.
Oh, man, that's a big army, though, that we see right there. And with all those Predators, he is going to be able to take down that Kraken. Now, one thing to mention, we can see right now the Foundry research is going on for David. So he's going into another tech route, one that doesn't involve flying units. I don't think we're going to see any more butterflies or even another Kraken out of David.
It seems like for now, David has to basically wait and brace for impact here. A push is inbound. He's ahead by one base.
Wyvern players, this is how you split units. Select a few, move to the side. Just for the Wyvern players out there.
But here comes that army now. He's going to have to try to tech out of this. A lot of damage is coming down.
So Crusaders now on the field. The Crusaders going to come up. They are very high health. They deal some AoE damage, and he is going to get on top of these gunbots. You can see they're doing a fantastic job of starting to chunk through these. The blinks behind as well, adding their damage in while the Crusaders tank everything. A great engagement here for David.
Yeah, just having those Crusaders in the front like that was beautiful, and a big blink on top so that nothing can escape. And now it just doesn't seem like there's that much left over here for Red. The push is going to continue up here. He's headed towards his opponent's core.
Yeah, all right.
Can't get over the fact, man. These units, they could just be squares, triangles, circles. There's no soul in them. Maybe that's not the priority, and then I probably get it. But this feels like toy soldiers. Unpainted.
The main cores have mined out. We're at the end of the game right now. Only a minute 30 left in this game, and David's going to do a push with so few resources trickling in. What you see is basically what you get. Got to move forward some destroyers here, which do take down his Crusaders very quickly, but that blink forward will show to be too strong, and David kills the army.
He's going to come in here, and that is the win condition. If you take out your opponent's core, you have won the game, and that's exactly what we have. GG. That was fun. Our first ever Battle Aces cast, Artos.
Yeah, that was really, really well done. What I really liked that we saw there was David was looking at that intelligence bar, and that will tell you a lot of things. It shows what your opponent has available at the moment, but it doesn't show what they have at the moment. And I felt like David did a really good job of banking some resources, figuring out what was going on, and then trying to counter it, right? Like he waited to build some butterflies, brought them out, pushed his opponent back, and did that counterattack. And I think that set up the situation where he can actually get a Kraken.
I love that he was using the blinks to buy time with the mortar push in the middle of the map. That allowed him to get the Kraken out of there. But he knew how to tech shift. So once his opponent had answered one problem, he had already created another problem and was just able to rotate through that tech and eventually win with that final push.
That is indeed cool. I feel like this is what makes Undead vs. Humans so beautiful at the moment. These unit rotations and transitions. And this is pretty much exactly what an RTS should be like. So they're probably onto something. I'll do a recap of what I like and what I don't like.
Yeah, a very cool game, guys. We hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you sign up for the beta now on playbattleaces.com.
And be sure to wishlist it on Steam. Thank you so much for joining us on our first ever Battle Aces cast. We hope to see you guys in the beta and on the ladder.
All right. Coming soon, June 9th. That's tomorrow. Learn about the game in this PC gaming show feature. Oh, that's the day after. That's Sunday. Where Tasteless and Artosis introduce the mechanics of Battle Aces with senior game director David Kim. So Tasteless is presenting a competitor to his mom's game. Wow. While his brother is presenting the entire show. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Okay. What I like and what I don't like. So, first of all, this is a Warcraft channel. We want a new Warcraft. This is not it. This is nowhere near it. This is not made for us. This is for other RTS players. It's fine. It's totally fine. We are the niche within a niche within a niche. Can't expect that. Do I like it? Not really. Would I love if they have heroes? Oh, 100%. But they came out there with a documentary saying we're going to revolutionize the way RTS is played. Kind of indicating that RTS, there's a lot of dust on RTS on the genre and stuff needs to change. And that's what they're trying to do. Building a base is tedious. People want action from the very beginning on. That is very noticeable in all games. All successful games. In Warcraft, you gotta wait 2 minutes until you move out of your base. Way too long. Then 1/5 of a game of these guys is over already. A few people like it. I see it, but I think if you wanna crack the formula of RTS, this is where you have to start, and I don't hate that they're going this way. The presentation. Compare this to what we've seen from other new RTSs. Cinematic anime trailer. Amazing. Followed up by gameplay. Amazing. Before all that was a little documentary that was basically their mission statement. And then you have an entire game, which is basically a battle report by the most famous RTS casters there's ever been. Amazing. Check, check, check. Exactly what you gotta do. Exactly what you gotta do. I think. We got the full picture of this game, and people can immediately decide, is this gonna be for me? Am I interested in this? Will I continue to follow it? Am I interested to play it? And people who are immediately turned off by the design will not raise their hopes up, as it was the case for Stormgate, for example. That should reduce a lot of hate, I think, that this game might potentially get. World building. We don't know too much about the motivation, etc. It's just factions, good girl, evil boss. Old story of good versus evil with robots on a little future anime setting. Little Dragon Ball-esque and grittier. And I really like that the units, they have some character in the cinematic. That's well done. That entire thing is well done. Name? Very generic. Very, very, very generic. Battle Aces? Not a fan. Hey, it is what it is. So yeah, I like that they get rid of the base because this is what you have to do, I think, these days. You get rid of learning build orders. You get rid of finding the balance between, for example, gold worker, lumber worker. When should I go for my gas in a StarCraft equivalent? All that is is work. Building supply depots, work. You can lose games because of it. Annoying. Kinda unnecessary, kinda outdated. I like building a base because it's some sort of skill. And you can make it an interesting strategic part of your game. How do you build your base? Do you wall off ramps? If there are specific faction, is one base stronger than the other, etc., etc. But I also think that this adds an element that could take away from the fun, or that adds complexity without adding fun. And I think you got to focus on the fun if you want to bring RTS into a new era. More battles, less other stuff. Trim the fat. And I think they're on a very good way in that regard. For me personally, armies are too big, too much of the same unit. I like rather fewer units, heavier micro battles, instead of more macro and split pushes and harasses, etc. But that's just my taste as a Warcraft caster. I think nobody will be very surprised to hear that. Is the majority of real-time strategy games that way? With bigger armies, with harasses, with multiple reactions across the map? Absolutely. So I can't blame them for going that way. I think there is some sort of town portal, right? Because I hate when you misstep once and you lose the game because of it. I think town portals are an amazing way of making a game noob friendlier while still punishing you. Of course, a town portal doesn't have to be a little scroll in an inventory, but you can make it work. I wonder if they're looking for multiple factions, or is it just one faction with different units available and you can pick from them? When I see that, I worry a little bit that you can get hard countered quite easy and then you can't find a way out anymore. That is a risk that I see immediately. Like, your opponent goes a certain way and then he has a unit that you can't counter with your deck. I don't know if there's a way to fix it then. What I like is the control, apparently. No big Warcraft UI. Or also Stormgate UI, whatever. Lighter, way lighter. And it feels like you can control everything with Quer. Or Quirds, or whatever. And then, of course, so far, I think the units on the battlefield looks like, I don't know, you could replace them by simple shapes. You could replace them by numbers. I don't think they have a lot of soul yet. But they are easily recognizable. And this also shows that they put heavy, heavy, heavy emphasis on readability, which is amazing and absolutely necessary as well. It seems very customizable. And hopefully the idea of tailoring your deck towards your playstyle works out and it's just not a marketing slogan, but actually works out in reality. Okay, how does this work? You can select 2 core units at tier 1 that will be the first units you deploy when the match begins. It's highly recommended to select 1 anti-ground focused unit and 1 anti-air focused unit as a combination. Okay. This is not too horrible, right? Imagine you could go Footmen and Headhunters or Grunts and Fiends. The next 2 slots to select for your unit deck are 1 Foundry and 1 Starforged unit. So I would, yeah, I would say 1 tier 2 ground, 1 tier 2 air. And you get 1, 2, 3 tech. To round out your 8 units, you can choose to fill each tech path with either an additional Foundry or Advanced Foundry unit for 1 slot, and additional Starforge from her. These choices will determine if you have 2 tier 2 units or 2 tier 3 units in each tech path, depending on how you want to customize your playstyle. Okay, I don't hate that. Again, since you can't change them in a game anymore, the question to me is still, can you easily get hard countered by just the unit deck as you would be build order hard countered? Bit skeptic. But as long as you reduce the risk for that, I can see that being fun. And I can see that you can build a deck that expresses your style. I really, really, really like that they aim for 10 minutes. Ideally, I'd like to have an option at the end of the game, like go for draw or continue battling. Because if it's over at 10 minutes, how are we, like, most games get really, really awesome in the late game, but I also see that in the modern world, people have less time. The world is faster. You don't want to play 40 minutes, especially we older folks might not have 45 minutes for one game, for one map. Of course, the MOBA games go a lot faster, but I think aiming for quicker games is smart. Ooh, units.
Link ready.
Okay, maybe they give us more soul here.
Missile bots armed.
Ready to sting.
Dude, I love the crab. The crab is awesome. Also, the bomb was very, very cool in the cinematic. This one, I don't know.
Ready to blast!
The one and only.
Okay, it's basically Banelings, right? Reshaped.
All right, I am here.
We are airborne.
Air power!
Stinger's attacking.
I gotta say, maybe I'm like rose tinted, but this unit design is pretty original for a new RTS. I mean, you can always draw comparisons, right? A crab is a crab. The bomb is basically Mario's bomb with a function of a bat rider, or sapper, or whatever. The flying things look a bit like a poor man's X-Wing, but in general, man, nothing jumps the eye as if, oh, I've seen this in a Blizzard game, I've seen that in a Blizzard game. I feel like I like this a bit better at the moment. And some stuff doesn't seem to be finished either. And it also feels like it doesn't take itself seriously, which I think is very important. Easily recognizable shapes, as I said. Don't hate it. I'm not immediately jumping on a hype train that this is gonna be the next thing. I'm gonna switch my career over to Battle Aces. Oh, damn, this is well made. Every unit has this animation and their stats already on the homepage. Man, you can just feel that this is so far well executed. Like the delivery, you can think of the game what you want, right? But what they delivered so far is exactly what you need to get an impression of the game. And this has character. This has character, just the top down doesn't. It's a bit janky, but it fixes itself. Love player color a lot. So if I get this right, you can equip stuff to the units. So maybe they serve two functions. They seem to have various, I don't want to say races because it's kind of robots, right? But there's clearly robots, and then there's these guys like the hunter and the recall the recall and the recall hunter. Like if you look at this unit, like nothing of this is really groundbreaking. The shape of a robot is the shape of a robot. This gun we've seen a million times, but these make it unique, and these the phase gives it character. I gotta say, in these battle animation, it seems like it's a lot of lasers at the moment. Some lasers are blue, some lasers are red, some lasers are green. Okay. But it's, in general, a lot of lasers. Far Horizon Collective. Those are the two factions, Far Horizon Collective and Senkaishu Limited. One are the robots, one are the more like alien thingies. Okay, we got rockets, not only lasers. It's not bad. It's kind of like a honeycomb. Everything is a bit animal-esque. Like obviously a crab, a wasp, honeycomb. I loved units like this in several tower defenses. Crazy, I really like the unit design so far. Simple, yet different. And I guess it's the settings fault that it's lasers and rockets, right? Seems to follow very simplistic rules. Ground, air, single target, AoE. One thing counters the other. Especially given they're meant to be masked. They don't need as much personality. Yeah, I agree. 4, it's just me as a Warcraft guy looking at a grunt portrait and falling in love immediately. I think they serve the purpose correct. They didn't do a mistake by designing the units the way they are designed. As I said, player color way more important. Way more important. I don't know. I guess you won't have an idle animation anyway. Guess we gotta get used to, like, you can still implement some character traits by like death animation, death sound, etc. Yeah, dope, dude, dope. It's so simple, man. It's a bomb with legs. It's a baneling function, but it's a bomb with legs. Yes. Cool. Oh, we add lightning to the mix on top of lasers and rockets. Manufactured by Ghost of Venus. Not too sure what this means. Is it another different faction? It's so many though. Mortar, clearly a mortar. I think they're doing a lot of things very, very right. It might not be for me. It's definitely not tailored for me, but I can see a lot of reasoning behind their decisions, beside their designs, their execution. This feels, so far, well done. Can't really argue with that. It feels well done. You get action immediately. You got strategic choices. It's also crazy that how many units they got done already. Like, it feels like all units are done. Tier 1, Tier 3, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. And you got impressive stuff. Where's the Kraken? I've yet to see the Kraken. Give me that Kraken. Release it. Oh my god, it's a cat. I thought it's a hippo, but it's a cat. It's amazing. I like how simple animal inspired this all is, or most of it is. It's new yet recognizable. Yo, this is my like, this is the best. This thing is so awesome. Instantly in love with this. Instantly in love with this. And this is... Okay, we're done. Okay, without having played it, just from looking at quality and thought process and originality, there's 1 or 2 leagues above Frost, Zero Space, and Stormgate.